Hi everyone and welcome to a new video here on my channel. I'm a little bit under the weather, but it's not going to stop me because today I'm sharing with you 5 very basic tips and features on the Brother ScanNcut machine. I'm using my ScanNcut DX, which is the SDX2200D. It's the European version of the SDX2200D. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I just felt like I wanted to share with you guys these 5 features. And if you're a beginner, you've just bought the ScanNcut, or you're interested in buying the ScanNcut, I hope these tips will be useful. So yeah, without any further ado, let's start. And if you like this video, give it a little thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're welcome to join our gang and yeah, watch more videos about the ScanNcut in the future. I'm going to start off by sharing with you the background screen feature. So if you've selected a very dark material on your mat, it can sometimes be difficult to see where you're placing your cutout files, your SVG files. And this is the trick that will help you always being able to see where your SVG files are on the machine. So the first step is obviously to put down your piece of material on the cutting mat. You then go to patterns if you want to cut out some SVG files from the actual machine. Here I'm selecting a cutout file that I want to use, and then I'm clicking on the scan icon and I start the scanning, and I'm scanning in my material that I want to cut this file on. But here is the problem. When you've scanned in your material that's very, very dark, it's difficult to see where your SVG file is. You can move it around because it has this red box around the file, but depending on the type of paper you have, you want to actually be able to see where your SVG file is on the screen. So what you do then is to select the wrench tool. You click on the wrench tool, and then you go down to background and you select either light or dark, depending on what type of material you have, and then you click OK. And when you've clicked OK, suddenly you can see the file because it's lightened the scanned image. Next up is the welding feature, and welding means joining together shapes, where you can create unique designs using different shapes or words. So this works on words as well, but I'm going to show you how I weld together 2 different shapes. So I'm picking here the heart shape, and I want to resize this in a good size that I can cut out. And then I click on add again because I like to have a heart garland welded onto the bigger heart. So I select the heart garland, I set it on the cutting mat again, and then I drag the big heart to where I want the 2 shapes to be welded together, which I want to be center, and then I click on edit, and then I select both of these shapes that I want to weld together, and then click object edit, and then click on this button here, which means welding, and then the machine welds together the 2 different shapes, and you've got a totally new design that you can cut out. And yeah, that is how you weld. Very easy, right? Next tip is super easy, and it is a basic tip, but I think everyone should know this. So let's say that you're cutting out 100 hearts for a wedding, and you don't want to sit there then and add 100 hearts onto the cutting mat. That will just take way too long. So instead you should do this. So you select the heart that you want, you resize the heart to the size that you like, and then you go down to number and you add, for example, 20. I think 20 hearts in this size would work, and then you click set. What then happens is that you've added 20 hearts of this size to the cutting mat, and instead of sitting there and dragging and dropping 20 hearts onto the cutting mat, it does it for you automatically. The next feature is the half cut setting, and the half cut setting is great when you're cutting vinyl or sticker paper and you do not want to cut all the way through the backing paper. And by using this setting, the machine will recognize the backing paper and not cut it. So here I'm selecting a design on the machine. I want to do this as easy as possible, so I'm selecting December, and I'm going to bring this design to the last stage in the cutting process. So I select here the cut, because I want to cut vinyl, and then at this stage you can see that half cut is set as off. This is off automatically on the machine when you get it. So I go into and press the wrench tool, and when I've clicked the wrench tool, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find half cut. And what you can see here is that half cut is set as off, and I'm going to press on because I want half cut to be on when I cut vinyl here. And then you can change the cut pressure as well for half cut. I usually tend to use auto, but you can play around with this and then the cut pressure changes. I'm going to use auto, and then I click OK. And then when you cut out this design, it will be on half cut. So you will still have your backing paper. Last but definitely not least is a scan and cut feature, which is very useful if you only want to cut out a few images. So what I do is I press on scan on the machine and I will scan in these images. So I also then select direct cut in the machine and start the scanning process by clicking start. Then the machine sends the scanned images into the actual scanner, and when that's been done, the machine is recognizing the image and the mat, and what you can see on screen is my images. But here is my but. Since I've not selected the machine and the scanner to only focus on the area where my scanned images are, I will need to manually remove the focus that the machine is having on the whole mat and only focus on the area where I've got my scanned images. So if you've had your machine for a little bit longer like I have, the mat will have a lot of different cut marks, and it might be small pieces of cardstock that I've not removed, and the scanner, because it's very powerful and it picks up everything when you've scanned it in, it will pick up these cut marks and then outline these, but we don't want that. So what I then do is that I drag and pull these arrows to make the scanner and the outline software only focus on the images that I want to cut out. Like you see here, I'm focusing that on these stamped images I've got. Then I also, because you will still have a few cut marks, especially when you've got an old mat, I will click ignore object size, and I will play around a little bit here by trying to remove some cutouts that I don't want the machine to pick up. If I feel that it's necessary to do some more cleaning up, I will click on edit and the three red boxes here, and then I will select this button that then highlights all of the things that the machine wants to cut out, and then I unselect the images that I want and delete the rest and click OK. Then this is my personal preference. I usually outline my images just to get that little white outline, and then I click OK and click OK again, and then the machine processes everything. I can select what I want to do. I want to cut out these images, and then I start the whole cutout process, and here the machine is cutting out my images and it's skipping everything else that's on my mat. I really need to get a new cutting mat. And yeah, a really perfect cutout, right? So much easier than fussy cutting, especially if you've got a whole 12 by 12 sheet with loads of intricate cutouts and ephemera and stuff. But yeah, that's how you use your machine. I hope that this video has been helpful, and if you found it very helpful, push a little thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!